what we can't do is to take for granted, and we shouldn't take it for granted. What this country is all about. We live in the greatest country in the world, and at this moment, in this time, we have a choice to fight for freedom or fall from grace. Welcome to the True Man Podcast. This is an invitation to radical reconstruction of a man's masculine heart and soul in a place of safe community where we dare to ask questions deep seated inside a man and explore ways to help you become a better man, a better son, a better dad, and a better spouse. Well, I am thrilled to death that you're here with me today for this special podcast. It really is a special podcast. This is episode number 150 of the True Man podcast. And in many respects, I feel like we just started doing this thing. But if you don't mind, there are a couple of special people that I'd like to thank regarding this podcast. Now, Paul Bailey and I started this podcast a couple of years ago, and I don't think I would have thought 150 was even possible, to be quite honestly, when we began. Thank you, Paul. I love you and our friendship. Michael Riggs, you encouraged me to start this. Thank you for your inspiration. And Eric K. Johnson, you helped and coached me when we first began. Thank you for that kickstart. And I'm grateful, finally. Thank you to my audience. I'm inspired by your storage. I'm encouraged by your comebacks, and I'm thrilled to be moving ahead with more podcasts to come because the stories you tell help us all to want more in life. Now, I've been thinking about this podcast for a while and what I wanted to talk about. And today, what I want to talk about is why I love America. Now, you may be asking, why now? Why do this topic? There's a lot going on in this country, a lot to talk about, and certainly a lot to pray about. Now, the 2024 election is upon us, and you know what that means. Craziness is about to break out and transpire. Now, I typically shy away from politics, but quite honestly, it's a hard thing to do when you talk about being authentic, you talk about being a true man, and what that implies. So, at the time of this recording, South Carolina has had its primary. Super Tuesday was March 5th. I do not know the outcome at the time of this recording, but the Republican Party is well under on its way to electing its candidate, and the Democrats seem to have been stuck with an old man losing his mind. Now, the election looks to be headed towards a bully versus a dementia patient, and it's really hard for me to understand why we got to this point or even how we got to this point. Now, I love this country, and I personally think we can do a hell of a lot better. So let's talk about that. The beauty of doing a podcast is that you have a choice to you as a listener to agree or disagree with what I talk about. And I'm okay with that as long as we can have a conversation about it. But that doesn't seem to be what goes on anymore in this country. When someone has an opinion in this country, it feels like they're either banished or name called or so be it. So I'll be honest and tell you, I don't know what's going to happen to this podcast because I'm going to talk about today because there are some platforms out there that would just assume me not talk about America and they would just assume me not talk about truth. But I talk about truth. So that's what you're going to get today. Now, I talk to a lot of people and I often hear them say, we need a revival in this country. And by God, they're right. And if you think we need a revival in this country, just reach out to me at mike@truemanlifecoaching.com and let me know how you can help us figure out how to kickstart something because I'm game for it. Why is this important? Well, this hits to the heart of America and how America even started and why we are the greatest nation in the world. So let me just jump in here and touch on a wide range of things, if that's okay. You know, in the vast tapestry of nations, One stands out in my mind with an undeniable aura of greatness. And that, of course, is the United States of America. In a world where strength and resilience are celebrated, America has consistently emerged as a beacon of opportunity, innovation, and freedom. Now, as a man trying to navigate the complexities of life, it's impossible to ignore the unique qualities that make America unparalleled. From its founding principles to our culture, let's dive into the reasons why America is not just a country, but a testament to the indomitable spirit of human achievement. The foundation of America is rooted in the pursuit of individual liberty and the unyielding belief in the inherent rights of its citizens. The U.S. Constitution was drafted by men that I believe were touched by the hands of God. They were visionary men who dared to dream of a society free from tyranny, and it remains a testament to their enduring strength of democratic ideals. In a world where power often tilts towards oppression, America's commitment to principles like the rule of law, the separation of powers, and the protection of individual freedoms has set us apart as a bastion of justice. But wouldn't you agree? It feels like we've turned our back on these founding principles. And now, what about the United States as an economic powerhouse? From our bustling streets of Wall Street to Silicon Valley's tech hubs, America has forged itself into an economic juggernaut. There's no doubt about it. The free market system, coupled with a culture that values entrepreneurship and innovation, has given rise to some of the world's most influential companies. The spirit of capitalism, where success is not just rewarded, but certainly celebrated, has created an environment where individuals can turn dreams into reality. And this economic prowess not only fuels the American dream, but also sets an example for nations around the globe. They're envious of us. But our politicians have put their political aspirations ahead of our economy so they can spend more time selling books, gaining TV time, and trying to be celebrities. Isn't that what you see? Now, in a world, in the grand mosaic of that American culture, diversity is not just a buzzword, but a living, breathing reality. The United States has been a melting pot of cultures, ethnicities, and ideas, creating a rich tapestry that reflects the strength of unity and diversity here in the United States. From our jazz clubs in New Orleans to tech startups in San Francisco to Broadway in New York, we could go on and on. The nation's unique culture has not only shaped its identity, but also been a source of inspiration for the world. The ability to assimilate and embrace different cultures has made America a global cultural influence. But instead of embracing our culture and our differences, everyone has decided to put silos around their own way of life instead of talking and working together to celebrate our diverse culture. Isn't that what it feels like to you? Now, technology. It is impossible to ignore the impact of American technological innovation across the globe. The moon landing, the development of the internet, breakthroughs in medical research are just a few examples of the nation's pioneering spirit. The culture of pushing boundaries and exploring the unknown has made America a leader in scientific technology advancements. The ripple effects of these innovations touch every aspect of our life, from communication and healthcare to entertainment and transportation. But in the 21st century, it's beginning to feel like our technology is destroying our relationships because we've fallen into the trap of those that seek to control us rather than use technology for good. Do you remember the book Big Brother by George Orwell? Doesn't it feel like we're getting closer to that each and every day? And what about our military strength and global influence? In a world where geopolitical dynamics often shape the course of nations, America's military strength has been a stabilizing force. The might of the U.S. military has not only ensured the nation's security, but has also played a crucial role in preserving peace and stability on the global stage. Now, one cannot overlook the sacrifices made by the brave men and women in uniform defending the values and freedom that define our American way of life. Thank you for your service. I can't say it enough. But do you remember the Teddy Roosevelt quote, speak softly, carry big sticks, and you'll go far? Well, our American military has been reduced, not through them, through our government, of course. They've been reduced to not just speaking softly, but carrying toothpicks around. And the rest of the world has taken notice, hence war breaking out globally. I'll bet you see soldiers carrying toothpicks around as well, don't you? Education. America has long been a magnet for some of the brightest minds from around the world, drawn by the promise of world class education. Our nation's universities consistently are ranked as tops in the world, offering a diverse range of academic programs. This commitment to education excellence not only fosters innovation, but also ensures the next generation is equipped with knowledge and skills needed to tackle the challenges of the future. But common statistics in the United States have us ranking somewhere in the neighborhood of around 13th in the world educationally. Our kids are failing, and we're far more concerned with who gets to wear a dress to school than who gets a good education. Are you seeing it as well? No nation is without its challenges, and America is no exception. From economic downturns to social and political upheaval, the United States has faced adversity head on time after time after time. Our ability to adapt and learn and emerge stronger from these challenges is a hallmark of our American spirit. In the grand narrative of our history, America has carved its place as a symbol of freedom, opportunity, and resilience. From its founding principles to its cultural diversity, economic prowess, and technology innovations, the United States stands as a beacon in a world that often grapples with uncertainty. Now, the American spirit serves as a reminder that greatness is just not a destination, but a journey fueled by the relentless pursuit of individuals and collective excellence. American greatness lies not just in its past achievements, but the boundless possibilities that the future holds, a testament to the enduring spirit that defines the greatness of our nation in the world. At the core of American greatness lies its unwavering commitment to freedom and individual liberty. On this land, men are not confined by the chains of oppression, but are instead empowered to pursue their dreams with relentless determination. Now, the American dream is not merely a concept, it is a tangible reality that's been fueled by the ambitions of countless men throughout history. From our pioneers who braved the wild frontier to the titans of industry who built empires, and from nothing. America is a testament to the indomitable spirit of the individual. In America, masculinity should be frowned upon, should not be frowned upon, excuse me, but celebrated. It is a nation where men are encouraged to embrace their strength, courage, and ambition. From the battlefields of the Revolutionary War to the rugged landscapes of the wild, wild West, American men have always been at the forefront of history, shaping the destiny of nation with their blood, sweat, and tears. Now, have we made mistakes? Absolutely, men have made mistakes. But in a world that often seeks to emasculate men, America remains a bastion of masculinity where the virtues of honor, integrity, and perseverance are held in the highest regard. But American greatness extends far beyond our borders. As the leader of the free world, America has championed the cause of liberty and democracy, standing as a beacon for hope for oppressed people around the globe. From the beaches of Normandy to the deserts of Iraq, American men have answered the call to defend freedom, risking their lives on foreign shores to uphold the principles that define our very nation. Furthermore, Americans' contributions to science and technology and innovation have propelled humanity forward into the future. And from inventions like the light bulb to our moon landing, American ingenuity knows no bounds. It is a nation where men are encouraged to push the boundaries of whatever is possible, to explore the unknown, and to conquer new frontiers. In America, opportunity abounds for those with the courage to seize it, men or women, be quite honest. It is a land of endless possibilities where men and women from all walks of life can rise from rags to riches through hard work and determination. The American spirit is one of resilience, tenacity, and its forged fires of adversity and tempered by the trials of history. But perhaps what sets America apart is its diversity, one of the things that seems to be tearing our nation apart at this time. As a melting pot of cultures, ethnicities, and backgrounds, America embodies the very essence of the human experience. It is a nation where men and women of all races and creeds can come together as equals, unified by a common love for freedom and democracy. In America, our differences are not seen as a weakness, but as strengths, enriching the tapestry of our nation and fueling the flames of progress. Now, in conclusion, about this part that I've talked on in masculinity, America is not just a country, it is an idea, a dream, a beacon of hope in a world that is plagued by darkness. We see it everywhere. People love America. They want to be like America. Now, as a man navigating through this masculine world, I am proud to call America home. It is a nation where freedom reigns supreme, where men are free to pursue their dreams and chart their own destiny. America stands as a shining example of what can be achieved when men dare to dream and strive for greatness. Now, let me talk about something here that I think is perhaps one of the more influential things that I've ever seen in my life. One of the biggest inspirations of my life came by watching the 1980 US hockey team. Now, I was only 10 at the time, but this team put the United States on its back and allowed me to see hope at a time where I feared the Soviet Union was just going to drop in and bomb us at any point and take over the world. I remember being 10 and living in fear of the Soviets. You know, the 19 US hockey team, famously known as the Miracle on Ice team, etched its place in sports history as one of the most iconic and inspiring moments in sports globally. The team's journey to victory in Lake Placid during the Winter Olympics was a testament to resilience, teamwork, and the triumph of human spirit. It really embodied American values. Now, if you remember, and let's relive this a little bit because it's so great, the backdrop to the 1980 Winter Olympics was that politically charged with the Cold War tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union. It was at its peak. The U.S. team, comprised of amateur and collegiate players, faced this seemingly insurmountable challenge to compete against a very heavily professional Soviet team composed of the best players that they had in the Soviet Union. Now, the coach of the U.S. team, Herb Brooks, played a pivotal role in shaping the team's identity. And if you get a chance to see the movie Miracle, I would absolutely 100% encourage you to do that. A very inspiring movie about the U.S. hockey team and Herb Brooks. Brooks instilled a sense of discipline, unity, and belief in that team's abilities. And his intense training sessions and unconventional coaching methods were initially met with a lot of skepticism, and you'll see that in the movie, but ultimately proved instrumental in forging a cohesive and determined unit. Now, of course, the highlight of the tournament came on February 22nd, 1980, just a month after my, my 10th birthday, when the U.S. team faced the Soviet Union in the medal rounds. And the Soviets, they were on a dominant streak, needless to say, having won gold in the four previous Winter Olympics. But the U.S. team, well, they displayed an unwavering determination and great spirit, and of course went on to a 4-3 victory against the Soviet Union. And at the final minutes of that game, you may recall the great call from Al Michaels, who happened to be doing the game now. Of course, he's now calling Monday Night Football. His iconic call was, "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes. It became etched in sports lore, became etched in my life, and I think it became etched in American lore as this love of country. And of course, the United States went on to play Finland in the following game and win the gold medal in the 1980 Olympics. And well, they're etched in history, perhaps as one of the greatest teams of all time. And in my lifetime, I would find it hard pressed to believe that there would be anything greater in sports that could occur. Now, in addition to the United States hockey team, I was largely influenced by Ronald Reagan during the 1980s. I was a 80s kid, and you may remember Ronald Reagan's characterization of America as a shining city upon a hill. It's a term, one of the most enduring and iconic expressions of American exceptionalism for sure. And the phrase became synonymous with Reagan his vision for the United States during his presidency from 1981 to 1989, and it encapsulates this belief that Americans should serve as a beacon of hope, freedom, and prosperity in the world. Now, if you remember this, Reagan first used this phrase at his 1980 acceptance speech at the Republican National Convention when he officially became the party's nominee for president. And in this pivotal speech, Reagan sought to articulate his vision for America that went beyond political ideologies, emphasizing that the country's unique role and responsibility on the world stage. And so he stated, "I've spoken of the shining city all my political life, but I don't know if I ever quite communicated what I saw when I said it. But in my mind, it was this tall, proud city built on rocks, stronger than oceans, windswept, God blessed, and teeming with people of all kinds living in harmony and peace. A city with free ports that hummed with commerce and creativity. And if there had to be city walls, the walls had doors, and the doors were open to anyone with the will and the heart to get in." You know, when Reagan said, "We are that shining city on the hill," I bought it. I believed in it, and I still believe in it to this day. And I think it's one of the greatest American quotes by a president that we've ever heard of because it symbolizes the hope that we all need. And speaking of hope, you know, often in hope, there's a tragedy that has occurred. And one of the things that sticks out to me, and I think it's an important thing to talk about, is September 11th, 2001. Now, this date is etched into the collective memory of every American. And the tragic events of that fateful day not only reshaped the landscape of this country, but also brought about transformation in the American spirit. And in the adversity, Americans really demonstrated a coming together, you know, like we've never seen before. And there was this phrase that was born: "United we stand." You know, that day, like many Americans, is just stuck in my head forever. But September 12th, the day after, is also a day I'll never forget because it is that day where we came together as a country to heal from the hurt and the injustice that was caused by people who didn't have God in their heart, just hate. And on September 12th, we came together as one. But unfortunately, that date feels like a million years ago when you look around and see what's going on today. You would be left with questions like have we ever been together like were on that day? One thing unfortunately that I've learned is freedom isn't free. And we lost a lot of first responders during 9/11, and I'm reminded of that fact that the nation with the greatest military and first responders in the world, many have paid the ultimate sacrifice for what goes on in defending our freedom in this country, and people take it for granted on a daily basis. And I want to say I have immense gratitude for those that have served our nation. It makes me proud and just damn happy to live in such a great place as a result of those that I've never met and will never know, who have defended me and my freedom. From the bottom of my heart, I say thank you. And I'd like to say something else here about religious freedom. Religious freedom is enshrined in the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. It is a fundamental and integral part of the nation's founding principles, and several reasons underscore the importance of religious freedom. But I'm just going to touch on this. The United States was founded under the principles of religious pluralism, where recognizing and embracing a diversity of religious beliefs and practices. Now, the framers of our Constitution sought to establish a nation where individuals were free to worship according to their conscience, fostering a society where people of different faiths could coexist in harmony. Now, for some doggone reason, we seem to have forgotten this as a country, and it really bothers me. When the Pilgrims came over to America, they did so to enjoy religious beliefs and peace. If you don't like this, it's your choice, just as I get to enjoy my religious freedom. And the thing that I found lost in all of this is the grace neither side wants to give. In fact, my whole conversation today is really about grace. We stopped having conversations in this country for whatever reason and instead have decided to shout. No one wins when that happens, and no one's voice gets heard. In fact, what emerges is pain, heartache, and loss. I love the red, white, and blue. I love the national anthem. I love a military parade. When I hear taps, my heart stops and a tear comes to my eye. I love this country, and I hope you do too. What we can't do is to take for granted, and we shouldn't take it for granted, what this country is all about. We live in the greatest country in the world, and at this moment, in this time, we have a choice to fight for freedom or fall from grace. Now, I hope you enjoyed my conversation today about why I love America. I could go on for hours, quite honestly, but I wanted to hit a few of the highlights because it pains me to see American throwing F bombs at each other when we should be giving high fives and hugs. Now, if you enjoyed today's podcast, please leave me a great review on your favorite podcast channel. And until next time, I want to encourage you to go out and make today your best day ever here in America. God bless, take care, and thanks for listening.